How the global chip shortage started. The world is currently grappling with a major semiconductor shortage. You've likely seen this in the news or experienced it firsthand when trying to buy products, only to be told there are significant shipment delays or no availability at all. Car manufacturers are particularly affected, predicting a loss of $110 billion in potential sales this year due to production halts caused by a lack of essential chips. Ford CEO Jim Farley has called this the greatest supply shock ever seen. A recent survey found that 93% of respondents in the automotive industry believe the chip shortage will have a severe impact on their sector. This issue has led to month-long delays for the iPhone 12, and Samsung is considering postponing the launch of their latest Galaxy phone. So, what's happening? How can the world run out of such a crucial component? And what does the future hold? Contrary to popular belief, this shortage isn't solely due to the pandemic. Let's explore further. Semiconductors power our communication, entertainment, learning, cooking, travel, healthcare, construction, and work. Initially, these chips were mostly associated with computing, but over the past few decades, they have become essential in almost every electronic device. Items you wouldn't expect, like fridges and kettles, have become more complex and require more chips. Essentially, anything made in the last 5 to 10 years that uses power also uses semiconductors. Your car, light bulbs, kids' toys, bathroom scales, water filters, doorbells, even toilets and sanitizer dispensers, the list is endless. And it's not just the products. Even the processes that create these products depend on semiconductors. Every stage, from design to planning, manufacturing, sales, and shipping, all require chips. Our reliance on semiconductors is undeniable. A survey by Forrester Consulting shows that the industrial machinery and electrical equipment segments are the hardest hit by the chip shortage, followed closely by IT hardware and computer sectors. But why is there a shortage in the first place? The electronics production industry is highly competitive, and innovation is critical for survival. Many companies design chips, but only a few manufacture them. Intel both designs and manufactures chips, but companies like Apple, Nvidia, Qualcomm, and AMD design their chips, but outsource manufacturing. Even Intel plans to join this trend soon. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, is the leading manufacturer, holding a 54% global market share. They produce both high-performance chips for Nvidia and Apple, and low-end chips for cars and microcontroller units. With one company making over half the chips for all major companies, this creates a significant vulnerability. It was a supply disaster waiting to happen. When the pandemic hit, industries worldwide were disrupted, and consumers reacted differently. For example, sales of personal electronics increased as people upgraded their home offices, benefiting companies like Apple and Nvidia. However, automotive manufacturers saw a decline and subsequently canceled or delayed chip orders, anticipating a prolonged sales slump. Chip manufacturers then shifted their focus away from the auto industry. When automotive sales began to pick up again, the industry asked chip manufacturers to ramp up production, but it takes months to do so. These facilities are extremely delicate. Even a speck of dust can cause major issues. A simple power outage can require weeks of careful inspection before resuming operations. Normally, these plants operate 24/7. So, when car manufacturers canceled their orders, chip manufacturers turned to other clients to keep their factories running. This left car manufacturers without chips when demand returned, and it will take months to retool. This has led General Motors and Ford to temporarily idle their factories in the US. In Japan, a fire at the Renesas plant, the top producer for the Japanese automotive sector, caused another supply shock. Nissan plans to cut production by 500,000 cars, and Subaru will produce 48,000 fewer cars. Why can't manufacturers just get their chips from other suppliers? The issue is that few manufacturers can produce complex components, and it takes 6 to 12 months to move a design from one manufacturer to another, like from TSMC to Samsung. PC gamers and enthusiasts are also struggling due to high cryptocurrency demand, which has consumed even more GPUs. Caleb Borgstrom, who owns a mid-sized PC building company, shares his insights. "My name is Caleb. I run a company that sells gaming PCs online. We're seeing consistent price increases with every new order from distributors and manufacturers, not from resellers. Cryptocurrencies hitting record highs have led miners to buy up graphics cards, making mining more financially feasible. I don't think prices for new cards will drop significantly due to increased demand and extra money in the economy from stimulus checks. Consumers with extra money are buying gaming computers, driving up prices and demand. Companies may be panic buying and hoarding chips, creating a false surge in demand. A chart showing wait times for different chips reveals that lower-level components have the longest wait times, with some rising 200 to 300%. Chris Rowland, an analyst at Susquehanna, states that all major product categories have seen significant increases, calling the situation the danger zone. If wait times continue to rise, buyers may hoard even more, worsening the crisis. This hoarding complicates the situation for manufacturers like TSMC, who struggle to distinguish between real and inflated demand, risking a massive overcorrection. There's a case study from 2017 to 2018, when automakers faced supply chain issues. They pressured chip manufacturers to increase capacity, but by 2019, demand wasn't as high as anticipated, leading to a surplus of chips and halting production. Renesas, a top automotive chip producer, had to lay off employees, and its president resigned. This scenario highlights the risk for Intel, TSMC, and Samsung, who are expanding their foundries. If hoarded demand leads to overproduction, it could trigger a significant market correction. The ongoing drought in Taiwan, where TSMC is based, also exacerbates the issue. Chip production requires substantial water to clean wafers. Taiwan, usually rainy with frequent typhoons, experienced no typhoons in 2020, leading to its worst drought in 56 years. One of the main water sources for Taiwan's semiconductor industry is only 7% full, an all-time low. The government has asked TSMC to reduce water consumption by 15%, adding another constraint. In summary, the semiconductor shortage results from multiple factors: the pandemic, increased home electronics demand, stimulus spending, fires in Japan, drought in Taiwan, hoarding, cryptocurrency demand, and more complex car electronics. It's a perfect storm bringing the industry to its knees, not even considering Taiwan's geopolitical situation. Looking ahead, analysts expect the shortage to continue throughout the year. NVIDIA's CFO, Colette Kress, predicts demand will exceed supply for most of the year. This crisis has led world leaders like U.S. President Joe Biden to question the supply chain's vulnerability. In February, Biden signed an executive order for a 100-day review of semiconductor supply chains to ensure future resilience. While recovery is expected, the global economy's reliance on a single manufacturing plant will come under scrutiny. TSMC and Taiwan's significance in the global supply chain highlight the need for a backup plan, though this is easier said than done. The global semiconductor shortage, driven by pandemic disruptions, natural disasters, increased home electronics demand, and geopolitical tensions, has severely impacted industries like automotive and electronics. This crisis highlights the vulnerabilities in current supply chains. Recovery is expected, but there's a pressing need for diversifying supply sources and investing in new manufacturing capabilities to ensure future resilience. Here's a fun fact. In 1997, Tamagotchi digital pets nearly disrupted the supply chain by occupying almost all of Taiwan's semiconductor capacity, causing shortages and delays in other sectors. Although today's shortage is on a much larger scale, such disruptions are not entirely new. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't miss our latest content. See you in the next video!